Somewhere in the forests of North America, there are places where the silence feels unnatural. Hunters speak of footsteps that don't belong to any known animal. Campers describe screams that echo through valleys before vanishing into the darkness. And every year, hundreds of ordinary people report seeing something that science says shouldn't exist. They call it Bigfoot. For more than a century, this mysterious creature has remained one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. Thousands claim to have seen it. Footprints stretch across remote forests. Strange vocalizations have been recorded. Yet despite decades of investigation, no one has ever produced undeniable proof that Bigfoot exists. So what is it? A surviving species of ancient ape? An elaborate hoax? Or something we've yet to understand? Tonight, we examine the legend of Bigfoot. Although Bigfoot became famous during the 20th century, stories of giant hairy beings are much older than the United States itself. For thousands of years, Native American tribes across North America passed down stories of enormous human-like creatures living deep within untouched forests. Among the Coast Salish people, these beings were known as Sasquatch, a name that eventually evolved into the word Sasquatch. The Yakima spoke of large forest people that avoided humans but fiercely defended their territory. The Spokane described towering wild men capable of disappearing into the wilderness almost effortlessly. Some tribes viewed them as dangerous. Others believed they were guardians of nature. What's remarkable isn't simply that these stories existed. It's that they existed independently across thousands of miles among cultures separated by language, geography, and tradition. Despite those differences, the descriptions remain surprisingly similar. Massive height, broad shoulders, dark hair, human-like footprints, an uncanny ability to vanish without a trace. Were these simply legends created to explain the unknown? Or were generations describing encounters with an undiscovered species? In the summer of 1958, heavy equipment operator Jerry Crew arrived at a logging site near Bluff Creek, California. One morning, workers discovered enormous footprints surrounding their machinery. Each measured roughly 16 inches long. Some prints appeared fresh. Others seemed days old. The story quickly spread through local newspapers. Journalists searching for a catchy headline gave the unknown creature a simple name, Bigfoot. Almost overnight, America's fascination exploded. Curious investigators arrived from across the country. More footprints appeared. Some casts revealed details that seemed almost impossible to fake, including dermal ridges similar to fingerprints and pressure points suggesting immense weight. Critics argued the prints were cleverly carved wooden hoaxes. Believers insisted they represented the strongest physical evidence ever discovered. Even today, experts continue debating whether those original footprints were genuine. October 20th, 1967. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin rode horseback through Bluff Creek while searching for evidence of Bigfoot. Suddenly, something moved ahead. Standing in the open was a massive figure covered in reddish-brown hair. Patterson jumped from his horse and grabbed a handheld movie camera. What followed lasted less than 60 seconds. The creature calmly walked across a dry creek bed before briefly turning toward the camera. That single glance became one of the most recognizable images in paranormal history. The Patterson-Gimlin film has now been examined for nearly 6 decades. Hollywood costume designers have attempted to recreate it. Biomechanics experts have analyzed the creature's movement. Anatomists have studied the proportions. Some conclude it was nothing more than a man wearing a fursuit. Others argue the visible muscle movement, unusual limb proportions, and natural gait would have been extraordinarily difficult to fake using technology available in 1967. Despite countless investigations, no consensus has ever been reached. Not every encounter comes with photographs. Some come only with sound. During the early 1970s, a group of hunters camping in California's Sierra Nevada mountains reported an unsettling series of nighttime encounters. It began with heavy footsteps. Then came rocks striking nearby trees. Large objects crashed through the forest around their camp. Whatever surrounded them remained hidden. Then they heard voices. Deep, powerful, almost conversational. The hunters managed to record several minutes of these mysterious vocalizations. Today, those recordings are known simply as the Sierra Sounds. Supporters believe they may represent communication from an unknown primate. Linguists have pointed to repeating vocal structures that appear unusually complex. Skeptics argue they are simply human voices or unidentified wildlife echoing through mountain valleys. To this day, no explanation has been universally accepted. Thousands of Bigfoot reports continue to emerge every year. Many witnesses have never met one another. Many have nothing to gain by sharing their stories. Yet the similarities are striking. Witnesses commonly describe overwhelming odors resembling wet animal fur mixed with decay, heavy footsteps, wood knocks echoing through dense forests, tree structures that appear intentionally woven together, large rocks thrown with surprising accuracy, and perhaps most unsettling, the feeling of being watched. Reports come from hunters, police officers, military veterans, forestry workers, park rangers, people who spend their lives outdoors. Many insist they know exactly what bears look like. What they encountered wasn't a bear. Science demands evidence. Unfortunately for believers, definitive evidence remains elusive. No confirmed skeleton has ever been recovered. No verified body exists. DNA samples collected over decades have repeatedly identified known animals, including bears, deer, wolves, cattle, and humans. Skeptics argue that if a population of giant primates existed across North America, modern science would have found unquestionable proof by now. Believers offer another perspective. Remote forests cover millions of acres. Animals often die in isolated locations. Scavengers quickly scatter remains. Weather, insects, and time erase evidence with surprising speed. Supporters also point out that entirely new mammal species continue to be discovered around the world, even in the 21st century. Could North America's greatest wilderness still conceal one final secret? Modern technology has transformed wildlife research. Millions of trail cameras watch forests around the clock. Drones survey mountains. Satellites map landscapes once thought inaccessible. Yet despite all these advances, Bigfoot remains elusive. Perhaps that is why the legend continues to captivate people around the world. It exists in the narrow space between folklore and possibility. Too many reports to dismiss easily. Too little evidence to prove conclusively. For some, Bigfoot is simply a myth. For others, it is the greatest undiscovered animal on Earth. Somewhere beyond the last hiking trail, beyond the campsites, beyond the roads, North America's forests stretch for millions of untouched acres. Places where sunlight rarely reaches the ground. Places where silence reigns. Whether Bigfoot is an ancient survivor, an elaborate legend, or something science has yet to explain, one fact remains undeniable. The mystery endures. And as long as people continue reporting impossible encounters in the wilderness, the search will continue. Because history has shown us one thing. Sometimes, the impossible is simply something we haven't explained yet. Fade to black.